Top 10 NBA players today. If you are a fan of basketball and you are looking forward to the NBA season, you might be wondering who the best players in the NBA right now are. We can all agree that LeBron James is one of the best in the league. The same goes for Kevin Durant, Stephen Curry, James Harden, and many other talented basketball players. But who are the best NBA players right now? There are lots of great players in the NBA today, and it is very hard to say who the best of them all is. But that's exactly what we're here to do. In this list, we're going to look at the top 10 NBA players today. When we say right now, we are talking about current NBA players. We will not be looking at retired players who are still in the league, such as Michael Jordan or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Before we get to the list of top 10 NBA players right now, let's take a quick look at a trivia question. Which of these NBA players has been called the King by himself and others after his name? A. LeBron James, B. Kevin Durant, C. Stephen Curry. Hang in there for the answer to this basketball trivia question, and feel free to put your answer in the comments. Also, if you're not already, be sure to subscribe and ring that bell. And here we go. 10. NIKOLA JOKIC. NIKOLA JOKIC has a bright future ahead of him. The Denver Nuggets center is one of the best passing big men in the league today. He was also a part of an elite young core that included Gary Harris, Jamal Murray, and Emmanuel Mudiay, but they didn't pan out the way it was expected. Still, Jokic is one of the few players who retained his value from last season to this year. 9. Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is one of the best scorers in the league today, but he hasn't been able to lead his team to the postseason yet. The Golden State Warriors forward joined forces with Curry and Klay Thompson to create one of the most potent offenses ever seen in the NBA, but he will need to win more than 2 championships to be considered a GOAT candidate. 8. Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is one of the best big men in the game today. He has struggled with injuries throughout his career, but he has always found a way to bounce back and produce at a high level. This season, Davis averaged well over 30 points per game for a few weeks before he got injured once again. The New Orleans Pelicans forward might be the best player on the team, but he is surrounded by mediocre talent. 7. KARL-ANTHONY Towns. KARL-ANTHONY Towns is one of the best young big men in the league today. The Minnesota Timberwolves star is already an all-star caliber player, but he has shown that he can be even better than that. Towns will likely find himself in the MVP conversation a few times over his career if he keeps up with his current level of play. 6. KAWHI Leonard. KAWHI Leonard is one of the best two-way players in the league today. The Toronto Raptors forward has shown that he can be a fantastic scorer and a superb defender, but he will need to stay healthy to remain in the conversation. He has already missed significant time due to injury, so it will be interesting to see if he can stay on the court for a full season. 5. LUKA DONCIC. LUKA DONCIC was the best rookie in the NBA this season. The Dallas Mavericks guard might not be a traditional point guard, but he is good enough to run the offense for his team. Doncic is one of the best scorers in the league at just 19 years old, and he has a bright future ahead of him. The Slovenian sensation will be a dominant player for years to come. 4. James Harden. James Harden has had the best season of his career this year. The Houston Rockets guard was able to carry his team to a top 4 seed in the Western Conference, despite the fact that he will be without Chris Paul for some time. Harden is one of the best scorers and playmakers in the league, but he will need to be more consistent on defense if he wants to be considered among the top players in the game. 3. Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry is one of the best players in the NBA today, but he is still far away from being the best. The Golden State Warriors guard has been a scoring machine this year, but he has also had some trouble leading his team at times. Curry is a franchise player who has led his team to 2 championship runs, but he doesn't have the resume to be considered an elite player just yet. 2. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis Antetokounmpo is arguably the best player in the league today. The Milwaukee Bucks forward is completely unstoppable on both ends of the floor, and he is showing that it will be very hard to stop him as he gets older. Antetokounmpo might not be a traditional point guard, but he has a lot of ball handling responsibility for his team. He is still just 24 years old, so there is no telling how good he can get. Before we get to the number 1, let's take a look back at the trivia question from earlier. Which of these NBA players has been called the King by himself and others after his name? A. LeBron James, B. Kevin Durant, C. Stephen Curry. The answer is A. LeBron James has been called the King by himself and others after his name. The NBA player was drafted straight out of high school in 2004, so he is one of the youngest players to ever be drafted by the NBA. Now let's get back to our list of the top 10 NBA players right now. 1. LeBron James. LeBron James might have had the best season of his career this year, but he has been great ever since he entered the league back in 2003. The Los Angeles Lakers forward will go down as one of the best players in NBA history, but he still needs a few more rings to cement his legacy. James might be the GOAT when all is said and done, but he has a lot of work ahead of him before he can claim that title. The future Hall of Famer has played in the league for 20 seasons, and while he's not getting any younger, the Lakers star still has a few years in him at least. LA is currently sitting in the number 2 spot in the Western Conference with a record of 36-17, and they've been one of the most surprising teams this season. Some fans believe that James could still make a run at another title before he retires, but if he's going to do it, now would be the time. That does it for Top 10 NBA players today. We hope you liked it. Agree or disagree, feel free to leave a comment below. Also, be sure to subscribe, comment, and like this clip. We put out videos several times a week, so ring that bell to be notified when we post new content. Thanks for watching.